So, today we're going to have another semi-short stream because I've only got till about 3 o'clock because I have to work at 4. Crack my game fuel. Alright. Excuse me. Now, we did finish Rihan yesterday. We got up here close to the final area. We did get our Duraludin yesterday. We also picked up actually that's all we got yesterday that matters. We were trying to pick up an SQ simply because I need one for my sword. But since we couldn't get one yesterday, I'm quickly gonna check like 5 fights real quick, just because. And then we're gonna head off to the wild area. And see about getting our 6th Pokemon, which shall be the Honedge family. We're gonna be using probably Doublade, honestly. I'm probably just gonna skip Honedge. Simply because, unless I can catch a Honedge because the conditions are right, it's not really going to be worth it to try and hunt one down anymore. Since I can catch any level Pokemon, I can simply catch the Doublade. Ugh. Hate how they're sticking right near that Snover. Alright, we'll check 1 or 2 more. Again, SQ is the 2% Pokemon here, so it's stupid rare. I mean, every time I run into one of these exclamation battles, I have a 2% chance of getting SQ. So, I'll check 1 more fight, and then I'm going to head to the wild area. Obama Snow. I'll take the Obama Snow out, and then I'll head to the wild area. Alright. Let's go ahead and go get our Doublade then. I'm actually gonna go to Hammerlock so I can heal at the Pokemon Center. check the lotto. Zero 00701. Gross. They get moo milk though. I'm pretty sure at this point, because of the surprise trading I did, I basically have all of the digits in the last slot, which is why I'm always winning. So, Hammerlock Hills still has not camp. I did not want camp. Yes, I have no desire to be camping at the half second. I don't need to cook anything. It's fine. Okay, so Hammerlock Hills is simply overcast. That is not the right weather condition for Honedge. Lake of Outrage does have a snowstorm, which means there's a 1% chance we could get a Dereluden over there. However, what we're actually after is going to be the Dewblade that's over here. Because there is always a Dewblade here. So, we're simply going to catch this Dewblade. Wow, that hurt. Okay, we should be good now. That's gonna kill Tongues, but... Oh. Or Tongues could hang on due to love. That works too. And we're good. Now, I can't put a space in this because it just barely fits. But we're going to name Dewblade a Phantom Blade. And then we are going to head over to Lake of Outrage. Now, Lake of Outrage is a unique area in that it has a special overworld spawn that is an evolution. That is entirely dependent on the weather. Since it's a snowstorm, it's currently Glaceon. You can also get a lot of Steel-type Pokemon over here, as well as almost one of every Evolution Stone. And these Evolution Stones will respawn periodically. They don't necessarily all respawn at the same time, and they are pretty rare. It takes a couple of days for some of them to respawn. But you can pretty much get every single Evolution Stone here. But yes, if you're doing Steel types, you can get fully evolved Clank, Bisharps, Capparajas. In a snowstorm, you can get Duraludin, although they're pretty rare. You can also get an Assault Vest, but personally, I don't really find the Assault Vest very useful. You can also get fully evolved Vanillish here, the Vanillux. Basically, this area has fully evolved Pokemon at all times. So, you can also get Rotom and Ditto and stuff over here in certain weather conditions. Now, what we're going to do is, one, we're going to max potion tongues. And double super potion Phantom Blade. Alright. Oh, Comet Shard. Okay. There is the fact that I want to teach. Do I actually have it? No, I do not. Okay, never mind then. What I was gonna say was I wanted to teach Dewblade a ghost move, but I don't actually have the TM or TR to do so. Because I wanted to teach him Shadow Claw, but I don't have the TM for it, or TR for it. I don't remember which one it is. I also don't have Flash Cannon, which I also wanted to teach, but there's really nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. So, what we are going to do, though, is we are going to take this Dusk Stone, and we are going to evolve Phantom Blade into Aegislash. There we go. We now have Aegislash. So we now have the final member of our team. That being said, it does want to learn King's Shield, which I am going to teach over Power Trick. Simply because Power Trick is really not super useful. It can be useful if you use something like Hone Claws and then Power Trick to swap the attack boost onto your defense. But other than that, it's not super useful. Also, I'd like to point out that Kitty is the only male Pokemon in our party. And Phantom Blade is level 56, so we don't actually need to train it at all. That being said, it also has stance change. So when it uses an attack move, it'll change to Blade form, and it'll change back to Shield form when it uses King's Shield, which is why I wanted it to know King's Shield. And of course, we also need to give it a hold item. Which I'm honestly not sure what I want to give him. Because I don't actually have anything that boosts the power of ghost moves right now. I might actually give him a black belt for Sacred Sword. Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a black belt right now for Sacred Sword. If I pick up a ghost type a move enhancer, I'll give that to him later. But, so, our party's now complete. So we finally have, you know, all 6 Pokemon. And just for fun, okay, he doesn't have what I want. We're gonna do Rotom Rally. if you couldn't guess, is completely optional and is completely unnecessary. Now, I'm taking the long way around following these balloons, but you can technically cut through the grass. The problem is, if you cut through the grass, like I'm going to here, if you hit a Pokemon, that happens. This is also the longest path you can take for the rally. Going all the way from Hammerlock, all the way back to the meetup place. I missed the balloon. And 40,001 points. And we got a TM for completing Rotom Rally for the first time. And then we got 402 watts. So that's cool. Now I'm going to also rest my Pokemon for a second, and then we're going to go ahead and just fly back up to Route 10 and continue on our merry way. Now that we have our full party. And yes, it is actually impossible to avoid any of these trainers. As you could see, I didn't even have him on screen. And yes, all of these fights are always in hail. The exception being when something like this changes the weather. However, if this fight lasts 5 turns and this sandstorm ends, it will start hailing again. Oh, he survived. Probably should have iron-headed him instead. Oh well. Get high horsepowered. Nope. We'll keep rocking. Iron Head. Let's go. Yeah, that's better. Should have done that to Gigalith in the first place. And of course, we won't be using Phantom Blade too much right away, simply because, again, hugging the wall, literally not on screen, still have to fight him. You cannot avoid these fights. Darmanitan. Oddly enough, you actually can't get him in this game. You can only get him in Sword. Because Darumaka is exclusive to Sword. Oddly enough, there is a person in the Isle of Armor named Regina who will trade you various Pokemon for their Galarian variants. One of the Pokemon she will trade you on Sword is a Darumaka, so you can actually get the fire one. Mistakes were made. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I sent Nth Trap out. That's not who I meant to send out. I meant to send Razor out because Phalanx is a fighting type. And it's actually a pure fighting type. You would think it'd be part steel or part bug, but it's not. It's literally just straight fighting. Phalanx is also one of those weird Pokemon, like, Execute, where it really looks like it should be a bunch of separate Pokemon, but it's actually just one Pokemon. Because, like, all of the individual ones there look like they should be individual Phalanx, but they're not. There's literally 5 of them that make up one Phalanx, just like there's 6 eggs that make up Execute. It's very weird. Okay, now, I'm actually going to swap some Pokemon around here. I want Adamantium D and Kitty up front for this fight. Now, this is the same reporter and camera guy we saw back on Route 5. And they've evolved their Pokemon. So they've got a Klinklank and a Heliolisk instead of a Klink and a Helioptile. Now, I'm going to fake out Heliolisk. And I'm going to Dragon Claw Klinklank. Okay, so Heliolisk is no longer a problem. Because it will die this turn. Now, as you can see, Shadow Ball has no effect on Heliolisk, which I will explain in a minute. Right now, we're going to switch to Breaking Swipe. Actually, I need to do this, because I need to do Iron Kitty on Klinklank. Breaking Swipe will actually hit both. Heliolisk is actually technically normal type. It is actually an electric normal type. So, ghost moves actually do not work on it. Which I know is weird to say there's something that's normal type besides normal flying, but oddly enough, that is the case. So, yeah, Heliolisk actually is immune to ghost type moves, but is still technically electric type if you're looking for something to counter ghost moves or ghost type Pokemon that isn't just pure normal or normal flying. It actually makes a really good option. Also, this is Noivern. He's a flying dragon. And that's Tokidamaru, which is actually an electric steel type. So, I'm going to Shadow Ball Tokidamaru and then Breaking Swipe both of them. Oh. Excuse me. Okay, that's going to actually paralyze ASD. Nuzzle is an interesting electric move that has a 100% paralysis chance. So, if you get hit by Nuzzle, you are guaranteed to be paralyzed. Now, even though it's not super effective, I'm still going to use Shadow Ball and Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe, as long as it hits, should kill Noivern. And D doesn't die, which he's going to. Dang. Okay, so I'm gonna send out Tongues, I think. Unfortunately, I still don't, other than Duraludin, have a good counter to dragon types, which is a problem, simply because I don't really have any good moves. I do have Play Night or Play Rough on Tongues, which is super effective versus Dragon. But the problem with Duraludin being my big Dragon counter is the fact that he is very slow. Or she. Duraludin is very slow overall. So, D is going to be not necessarily the best at countering dragon types, simply because most of the dragons outspeed it. Okay, it should be weak enough that an Iron Head will kill it, and if not, High Horsepower definitely will. Yeah, I should survive. It's fine. Okay. So, that takes care of that. hits the end of Route 10, and suddenly the snow just stops. Everything's bright green and sunny again. And welcome to Wyden. Or Winden. Winden, sorry. So, this is the final town of the game, Winden. Home to the Champions Cup, or what is essentially the Elite Four in this game. Yeah, Hop, you will never be champion. Now, there are a couple of things we're going to do. Before we actually head in and do the Champions Cup, because I know that ties up a decent amount of time. We're going to come over here and we're going to grab probably 20 quick balls. You can also get all of the stat items here if you really want them, but we're also going to buy a couple more max potions and 5 full restores, just on the off chance that I do need one. I was thinking one of them offered a trade I wanted to show off, but apparently not. Then we're going to come up here, and go in here, because I haven't shown these off yet. These are, battle cafes. Once per day at each battle cafe, you can battle the owner, and he will give you an item. This is how you get the sweets to evolve Milcery into its various forms. I'm not concerned about that, because obviously I'm not doing anything with Milcery. However, I do want to come over to this boutique. Because we can get our tracksuit jacket for our steel type. Which we're going to put on. We can get the track bottoms for the steel type, which I'm going to buy and put on. Socks don't really matter. Shoes, again, don't really matter. Personally, I don't really care. I'm gonna grab the steel type sports travel bag, which looks like this, instead of our big clunky brown one we were using. We can get the steel type sports hat, so we now have a hat again. And of course, there's our steel type sunglasses. The gloves, again, don't really matter. I mean, you can see it there, but there's nothing super cool about them. And we only wear one glove for some reason. I don't know why. But, the shoes, honestly, just because I don't like the green on ours, I'm gonna pick up the black creepers just because I want them. So, that's our new look. I am going to go to the Pokemon Center again and update my league card. I'm actually going to go to make a new one to show off the other stuff. I'm going to actually reset everything to the defaults so you can see everything as I'm going through. This is the Galar Mine one. So as you can see, we've got quite a few new ones. I'm probably not going to use any of these new ones just because I don't really care about them. I mean, some of them are cool, but most of them are just kind of there. So I'm actually going to use this one because it's my favorite. And again, as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of new effects. This one's my personal favorite, as well as a whole bunch of new frames. That being said, my favorite is still, honestly, this one or this one. I'm going to use this one right now because it's what I want. Honestly, that's not changing. Alright, so there's the clear coat, there's the matte coating. We can get a checkered foil, which is just there. There's the dot foil, which is just weird. Bubble foil and heart foil. Honestly, I'm just going to stick with the clear coating because I don't care about the rest of them. They do cost money, and you do only have to buy them once. But honestly, I'm just going to stick with the clear coating because I don't really care. Also, if anyone is actually interested, we're at 56 Pokemon, 8 kinds of curry. We've caught 47 Pokemon, and I've found 1 shiny Pokemon? Okay, that requires checking the decks, because I don't know what shiny I've seen. Going through here, it will give us the option to check various languages if we've seen them in other languages, or if we've seen multiple forms, to check the other forms. which is what we're looking for. Okay, that's male and female, which honestly I'm not sure what the difference between the two is. Again, I'm not sure what the actual difference between the male and female is, but... Okay. Oh, right. The Machamp that I threw away because it was clearly hacked. Or I believed it to be most likely hacked. Right. That's the shiny we saw. Okay. Okay, anyways, there's also my ID number, as well as my current Pokemon team, and, if anyone wants it, there is the code for my card. I'll leave that on screen for a minute. Alright. Yes. Okay. So, if anyone wants it, that's the code. I'm gonna disconnect from the internet now. So now that's all I actually wanted right here. Now that we've been to Winden, I'm actually going to fly back over here to Balinlia. And find the guy I'm looking for. Not who I want. I need to find... Yep, this guy. So... yeah... yeah, so she still looks like a kid. So, he gives us a choice scarf for doing that. Also, he has a set of twin girls. And then one random over here, who's apparently talking to someone in the wall or something. It's very weird. You'll notice the girl sitting on the rock out there uses the same sprite as well. So... this is another battle you can have. You can actually have this battle anytime after you get to Aunlia. I honestly just forgot about it, or I would have shown it off earlier. At this point, it's basically a joke, but it is technically here. No, not really. She does give you Evolite, which raises defense and special defense for Pokemon that can still evolve. That is not the TM I wanted. What I'm actually doing is looking for the TM for Shadow Claw, which I'm actually just going to look up where it is because I don't want to spend forever running around for it. Oh, okay. It wasn't the right area. I thought it was over there. Okay, we need to actually go back to the wild area. I remember where it is now. I was thinking that was actually one of the reasons I went over to Lake of Outrage, other than I wanted the Duskstone, was I was thinking the Shadow Claw TM was over there, but then I didn't see it. But I remember where it is now. Also, technically the Doublade, well, Honedge appears based on weather in Hammerlock Hills. Also, there's a Lapras, by the way. The Doublade is technically considered to be part of Giant's Gap. Also, this is Shadow Claw, which I'm going to immediately teach to Aegislash. So, I'm immediately going to teach that to Phantom Blade. Oddly enough, Kitty can also learn Shadow Claw for some weird reason. So, I'm actually going to get rid of Swords Dance for Shadow Claw. Okay. Now, I'm also going to fly back over to Stone'side because I want to see what treasure the guy has and what this guy wants. Bag of Stardust for 4 grand, sure. And what's today's bargain? Sure, I'll buy a Razor Claw for 3 grand. The other dude just gave me 4. What's tomorrow's bargain? Cracked pot. Okay. Now, the Razor Claw, if you give it to Sneasel and level it up at night, it will evolve into Weavile. Also, if you're wondering about the Stardust, it's 1,500 at the store. So, I made, like, 2.5 times selling it to that guy. Also, if you're wondering why I'm not concerned about money in any way, I will show you. We are at 131,000 going into this. Keep in mind, I can find most of this stuff just laying on the ground. Okay, we're now at 345,000. We were at 131.6, so we got 500 to put it at 132. So we made 213,500. So, just from selling all the treasures I had, which I have not actively looked for in any way, shape, or form, we made almost 250,000 Poke. That is why money is not remotely a concern in this game. Because you can literally just find that stuff laying on the ground in the wild area. Even out here, if you see sparkles on the ground, it'll be stuff like that. So, I'm actually gonna go back to Wyden now, or Winden. I don't know why I always call it Wyden. It's Winden. But, so, yeah, that's why money is not a problem. There's also this park over here you can go to get some items. I know there's a way through these trees. There we go. There's a rare candy. There's a grassy seed. There's a balm mushroom, which, if you remember, I just sold all my balm mushrooms for like 7,500 a piece. So, that's a thing. Okay, let's let's head up to the stadium now. Also, these guys are technically merchants, however, they won't sell anything to you. I'm gonna come over here to this Pokemon Center, though, just for the sole purpose of registering it as a flying location. And on the off chance I lose, registering it as the closest Pokemon Center. Now, this is also a TM shop that is very expensive and has a lot of the high power moves as well as all of the punch moves. Now, for right now, I'm going to buy Ice Punch. For 2 reasons. One, I kind of want it for later. And 2, it's honestly the only one that I think is useful. And by later, I mean I plan on teaching it to a Pokemon on Isle of Armor. Because no Pokemon I'm ever going to use in the main story or post-game here can actually learn Ice Punch. And he gives us a Dream Ball, which really is weird. The Dream Ball has a higher chance of catching Pokemon when they're asleep, which is weird, being as you generally have a higher chance of catching Pokemon when they're asleep to begin with, but that one gives it an even higher chance. It's very weird. It also comes from the 3DS app game thing, Dream Radar. And as she tells you here, there might be 4 remaining in the semifinals, but I'm the one who's gonna win. So out of all the people you saw that at the beginning that said they were starting and were gym challengers, 4 made it here, and that's it. You, Marnie, Hop, and some rando. Also, this guy blocks that room and says only authorized personnel are allowed. You can never go in there. I don't know why that area actually exists. Also, there's a bunch of, like, training equipment here for some weird reason. Also, if you're wondering what this is, it's a sit-up and crunch bench. You hook your feet on the pads, hang so your head is down here towards the floor, and then do sit-ups and crunches. Okay, so, to start out with, 1, I don't want Kitty up front. I actually want Aunt D up front. Now we're going to save, just on the off chance that I lose. I won't, but just on the off chance. And I'll give you 3 guesses on who our first opponent is. That's right, it's Marnie. So, and because I'm going to spoil it, the finals match is versus Hop. The fourth person in the semifinals is never named because they're Hop's opponent in the semifinals and just gets bodied by Hop, so we can end up fighting Hop in the finals. Also, you probably should have done that first turn, just saying, because now you're dead. Probably should have done that the other way around, but, you know, it's just me. Alright, now her team is mostly the same. Still mostly dark types. Obviously, Scrafty is dark fighting, so we're going to be using Razor to target the fighting side because we don't have anything that's strong against dark, really. Bummer. I was actually hoping to one-shot that. Although that's... the fact that it did less than half health with a crit is actually nice. Okay, now we're gonna switch to Nth Trap, since she's using her electric dark type, more Pico. Now keep in mind, Morpeko is technically her partner Pokemon. It is the one you see walking around with her all the time. It, however, is not actually her ace. You would think it would be, but it's not. Oh no, we're getting swaggered. We're screwed. I mean, we might actually hurt ourselves, which could be a problem, but other than that... yeah, we hurt ourselves. Oops. Oh well. Oddly enough, Toxicroak is not really that big of a deal. The biggest problem is its swagger making us hit ourselves, because it's literally going to sucker punch us, and that's it. And the fact that we have hurt ourselves 3 turns in a row is just annoying. Yay, we snapped out of confusion. Good, now we can kill Toxicroak. The fact that we hit ourselves 3 times is garbage, but... okay, this is actually her ace. This is Grimmsnarl. It is a dark fairy type. So, I'm actually going to send out Tongues. And we will be Dynamaxing Tongues. Because she will Dynamax her Grimmsnarl. This is actually her Dynamax Ace. This is also the fully evolved form of Impidimp. And she does have a Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. So that actually is the Gigantamax form, not the Dynamax. But, the only one you actually fight that Dynamaxes rather than Gigantamaxes is Hop. Because when the game first came out, there was no Gigantamax form for the original 3 starters. They were added with Isle of Armor. That is going to hurt. Not a lot, but a little. Now, this is going to hurt a lot. And we win. Now, the shiny Grimmsnarl actually looks way cooler, being as it is pure white. Also, Kitty is not learning Thrash. So, Marnie's out. She can no longer be champion. So, now she can take over as gym leader for her brother. Yeah, she's very weird. Yeah, so he basically just goes, "Yay! I won my match, so I'll be waiting for you in the finals." Yeah, so basically Hop, like, immediately won, and yeah. And we never find out who Hop actually beat. Now, the good thing is, our Pokemon were fully healed. I am also going to keep D in front. So, our Pokemon are fully healed. They do at least do that, because you have no way of leaving the area, so they don't require you to use items to heal and restore your Pokemon there. They do just do it automatically for you. But yeah, basically Hop fought some rando who's never named and never seen in the game as a gym challenger. And basically just so Hop can get to the finals, they just say he beat some rando. So, now we're gonna fight Hop again. As always, he starts with his Wooloo double thing. So, you know, all of his Pokemon are upper 40s, low 50s. His Dubwool does have very good resistance. It also knows Body Slam, as you can see there, which can paralyze. I'm actually going to lower its attack a little just because. Reversal's going to hurt because it's a fighting move. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. That's why I didn't want to use a second Dragon Claw there. Was because I didn't want to accidentally kill Double. Because I wanted to force him to use his full restore. Because he will use one full restore in this fight. And I wanted to make him use that on Double, rather than on one of his actual better Pokemon. So he will use no further items in this fight. Now, I'm going to keep D out just to fight his Snorlax. Because, honestly, I want to lower its attack power. Because of this. It knows Hammer Arm. Which is actually super effective against my entire team. So, D may die to a Hammer Arm here, but I want to get his attack lower just so he can't do as much damage to the others. Now, I'm probably going to die to a third Hammer Arm here, but Dragon Claw would not have actually killed. That is the other problem. He also knows high horsepower. So, basically all of his Snorlax moves are super effective against my Steel types. So, what I want to do now is swap Kitty in and try to kill him with Fake Out. Which may or may not work. Okay, I got a crit, so it definitely killed him. Good. Unfortunately, we had to sacrifice D for that, but honestly, D had kind of served his purpose. D's main job was to get through the first two Pokemon, basically. His job was to take the double out, use Hop's full restore, and basically absorb the Hammer Arms from Snorlax. Now, here is one of the problems. I still don't have a counter to Corviknight. So, I'm actually going to use Phantom Blade here for the first time. Because, honestly, Shadow Claw is my best bet. And, yeah, we just really don't actually have a counter to Corviknight. So, Now, you'll notice we did take more damage that turn because we're not in shield form. Okay, so now we want Razor for his Rillaboom. Which, oddly enough, being his starter, is his ace, and the one he will Dynamax. And oddly enough, this is his last Pokemon. You may have thought he had 6, but he only has 5. So we're going to go ahead and Dynamax Corviknight and then max Airstream. He's going to Dynamax his Rillaboom, which honestly the Gigantamax form you can get in Isle Armor looks way sweeter, but it is what it is. So now we get to spend 30 seconds watching Hop screw around and Dynamax Rillaboom. So that's Dynamax Rillaboom. Again, the Gigantamax form looks way cooler. Which I may actually show off the Gigantamax form on my sword at some point, but when I'm doing Pokedex completion or something on it, or possibly shiny hunting when I'm shiny hunting, and that's pretty much the match. Because with the speed boost, I should outspeed it, and GG Hop. So, we won the Champions Cup. We won the gym challenges. Yay, we can now fight the champion Leon. So, we're almost done with the main storyline in the Pokemon games of becoming the regional champion. Yay! Also, they literally say there that you're the winner of the semifinals, but before you walk into the stadium here, everyone's talking about how it's the finals. Also, whatever the first living Pokemon in your part already there is the one that he references. And you have to wonder how long Leon is just standing there in that pose waiting for you guys to walk out. Yeah. Now we get to have fun with long, drawn-out story bullcrap. Because, yeah, if you thought we were just going straight into the champion fight like you normally do, nope. Nope. We've got 35 minutes of dialogue before that. And yes, I'm literally just mashing through this dialogue as fast as humanly possible. I don't actually care what I answer to any of the questions or anything they ask. I just am trying to clear the dialogue. Okay, so now we have to go to Rose Tower to find Leon. I need to talk to him first. Hi, Marnie. So, yeah. We basically have to take the monorail out. She tells us that only authorized people with the correct passcodes can get on the monorail, and she's giving the pass key we need to that guy and having him run off. So now we have to go hunt that guy down. So you can tell which one's the bad one by looking at their glasses. Also, there's a max revive over there, by the way. You can also note that they're always basically hiding their face. The bad one is always hiding his face, and is apparently named Eric. Also, your Pokemon are fully healed, by the way. Oh, if anyone's wondering, Laser Focus just makes it so your next move is a guaranteed crit. Since I hadn't really mentioned or used that at all. Not that I really needed that, I was already faster, but sure. That and Eric's an idiot and doesn't know how to use any effective moves. Although I'm not sure his Meowth has anything that's effective against Duraludin. I'm actually going to swap an Nth Trap because he's using Durant, which is a Steel Bug type. I actually had considered using Durant in my playthrough. The problem is I can't actually get Durant. But I'd considered using Durant until I actually remembered that Durant is exclusive to Sword. At least I think it is. I think Durant's exclusive to Sword and Heatmore is exclusive to Shield. I could be wrong on that, though. But, I knew I wanted to use, the dual typing ones, for Duraludin, Nth Trap, Phantom Blade, and Razor. I wanted them for their dual types. I wanted to use Copperajah just because I like Copperajah. I love the whole elephant idea there. And, I ended up deciding for the last Pokemon that I wanted to use Berserker simply because I wanted to show off the Steel Meowth. And I did want to use at least one true old school Pokemon. Now, you literally can find him by doing exactly what he said and just talking to everyone. This is actually a terrible matchup, and I forgot he started with Mawile. D can actually do nothing to that Mawile, because his only damage moves are Dragon type, and Mawile is part Fairy, so it's immune to Dragon moves. Excadrill is another one I considered using, but decided I didn't want to simply because I know how blatantly powerful it is. But it is like Stunfisk, it is ground steel type. So it would have basically replaced Nth Trap if I did use it. But again, I wanted to use Nth Trap as the ground steel type because 1, Excadrill I know is overpowered, and 2, I wanted to show off some of the regional variants, which is the same reason that I used Meowth and Berserker. And because this guy literally had no way of getting more Pokemon and never left the area, he had to literally have 6 Pokemon with him to start with that he used across 3 fights. Pharaoh Seed is another one I considered using. It is a Steel Grass type. Unfortunately, D is going to take a bunch of damage here from its Iron Barbs because I have no special moves. I would like to teach D Dragon Pulse, but I don't have the TM for it. Actually, I'm not sure it is a TM in this game. I think it might be a TR. But I don't actually have a way to teach it Dragon Pulse right now. I would love to teach it Dragon Pulse instead of Dragon Claw. However, I don't really have a way to do that. I'm going to use Nth Trap on Steelix. Tongues would actually be more effective, probably, simply because it would. It's got a stronger attack stat and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and Earth Power. Honestly, that should one-shot it, as long as it doesn't have Sturdy. Yeah. Yeah, the stab bonus for Earth Power was enough to one-shot it. So now he's basically saying his only option is to run. The problem is there's nowhere for him to run. So, basically, he just ran into the monorail station, because we had all the exits blocked with Team Yell members. Now, what makes no sense here is he suddenly thinks he's perfectly hidden, but there's 4 of them, and we clearly saw him walk up and be the one on the far right. So, I have no idea what they thought that was going to accomplish. Also, Pierce totally just, whips out a mic and or it's, impromptu concert to draw everyone's attention. Which, for some reason, works. I don't really understand how or why it works and why it causes everyone to just rush down the stairs when they can literally see and hear better from up there anyways. So, not really sure how or why that works, but apparently it does. So now we're at Rose Tower. And my friends are posting links to YouTube videos on Discord again. Interesting. Okay then. Yeah. Hey, look, Pierce showed up. Also, again, our Pokemon are not fully healed. So, we're still fighting with weak Pokemon and lower PP. Now I'm gonna heal D just because I can. There's also a TM for Eerie Impulse right here. Which, well, you may think it sounds like a ghost move. It's actually an electric move. I know it totally sounds like a ghost move, but it's an electric move. Also, if you run around, there's miscellaneous other stuff you can find in the area. There's a rare candy up in that corner. There's an electric seed over here. This side you've got a cell battery, which boosts electric type attacks 1 time. There's also a bottle of PP up over here, which is by far the best thing in this area. Alright, and now we just kind of head into the tower. Supposedly this place has 100 floors. So we don't actually fight 100 floors worth of people. But this is essentially the battle tower. Also, once again, most of the macro employees from the various macro companies use Steel-type Pokemon. This is essentially a Steel gym, basically. So, as such, I really shouldn't be using D here. I should be using Nth Trap or Tongues, simply because they have ground moves. For Durant, I could also technically be using Razor for flying. Mostly I'm just using D simply because, honestly, he hasn't got a lot of screen time, and being one of the last Pokemon we got, the only reason I'm not using Phantom Blade for the same reason is because it's so much higher level than everyone else. I really want to get everyone else caught up to Phantom Blade level-wise. And D is not only one of our newest Pokemon, but also one of our lowest levels. Nth Trap is also fairly low, so I'm probably going to switch Nth Trap up higher here. And leave D for later training. Simply because I know D is not really going to be super useful here. Nth Trap will actually be far more useful. So, let's start climbing the tower. Now, we've got about an hour and 45 minutes before I've got to get ready for work. I'm not going to guarantee we actually fight Leon today. So, excuse me, I have to take this phone call. Right. So I forgot Bronzong has Levitate. Oh no, he's safeguarded. We can't crit him anymore. Oddly enough, when they first introduced multi-hit moves in double battles all the way back in Gen 2, moves like Surf, Earthquake, Muddy Water, Blizzard, they would actually hit your partner Pokemon as well. It wasn't until Gen 5 that they changed it so Surf and moves like that would not hit your second Pokemon. However, some of the moves still do. Earthquake will still hit everything. As will Bulldoze, oddly enough. I'm actually gonna keep Dragon Claw here. I know I said I wanted to get rid of it, but I want to get rid of it for Dragon Pulse specifically. I'm actually gonna get rid of Laser Focus for Flash Cannon. The great thing is it does give us a special type move. So versus things like Tokidamaru and Pharaoh Seed that have Iron Barbs, or Sharpedo that has rough skin, we actually have a way to not take damage from that now with Duraludin. So D doesn't have to take damage from using physical moves on things like that anymore. Also, Hop will heal you in between every fight here, so you don't have to worry about your party being injured. And all of these people work for various macrocosmos businesses. These ones are insurance people, and they basically still, like I said, all use steel Pokemon. So, it is what it is. Now, that being said, what this actually reminds me of most is the Gen 3 gym in Moss Deep City, which is the 6th badge in that game, or that generation, where the entire gym is fought in a series of double battles, and the gym leader is actually a set of twins that have you double battle, much like Rion did in this game. But that's actually what this, as well as the Dragon Gym, actually remind me of, and always have, is the Moss Deep Double Battle Gym in Gen 3 when they first introduced double battles. Because prior to that, even fighting twins and stuff, they'd only use one Pokemon at a time. Yeah, if there was an insurance company in the Pokemon world that paid out for being defeated in a Pokemon battle, they would lose so much money. Now, if you hadn't guessed by the number of floors, this is going to be the last fight before we get to the top. You don't have to go through, like, all the doors twice or anything like that. You literally do one set from each door. And hey, look, I'm faster. So now we just have to worry about the Steelix, which, oddly enough, in almost all of these fights, the computers actually target Hop. Okay, well, I actually did just save, but I'm going to save again real quick just to make sure it took. And I'm actually going to need to head off. That second phone call was actually my work. So, the person that was supposed to be in at 1 o'clock just called them and said they weren't going to make it. So, I now need to head into work early. So, I will see everyone tomorrow to definitely finish this up. But I need to head to work. So, thanks everyone for watching, and I do apologize for the very short stream. But I'm going to go quickly take a shower, get ready, and then head to work, because I'm supposed to be there as soon as possible. So, again, thanks for watching. Sorry for the super short stream. Life sucks sometimes.